Alright, says I'm live. You guys can hear me. Please let me know when we will get started. So there's around 50 of you waiting, so I do appreciate you holding by. But excited to do this live stream, the last one until football starts. Although next week I believe we have a Saturday stream, so Saturday race, so we'll have that to look forward to as well. But alright. So say hi to everybody in the chat, let people roll in, and we'll get started. And yes, there's going to be a lot of questions about Kyle Larson going to the rear, and no, he'll not be scored from the back. He'll be scored from the beginning, or I guess I should say in the poll. So he's going to start the race out with a lot of negative points. I personally dropped my exposure a lot. I'm actually kind of full fading him at this point. I just don't see the reason to play Larson. The only reason I was playing Larson was because he was on the pole and he had that track position. I just pretty much moved all his ownership to guys like Truex and Denny Hamlin. So I'll say that right off the bat. But if you guys have any Larson questions, feel free to let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer. But just got to wait and see if you guys can hear me, and I'll get started. What's up, Terry? Aaron says no. I'm not sure if he's saying he can't hear me, but I'm assuming he can if he didn't answer that. What's up, Andre? Hello, Chris and race fans. What's up, man? Looking forward to the race tonight. Then we got football tomorrow. Should be a very fun weekend. It's been a busy weekend, and I've also been moving at the same time. So I've been doing football, baseball, NASCAR, and getting ready to move. It's been a very hectic weekend. So looking forward to just watching the games tomorrow, that's for sure. Also, I just shaved, so I probably look like I'm 12. JB says, dang, hope to do better in Cup. My Xfinity sure did pretty bad. I guess that happens using someone's advice for lineups, not you, Chris. Apparently by Discord chat, which I know you're in the Discord, but a few guys in the Discord did really, really well for Xfinity. I think Hunter had like 2nd and 6th place, and then my guy Sean did very well too. So, yeah, happy to hear that. What's up, Spread? What's up, Hunter? Let's get it. Gonna be a fun night. Make sure you give our boy some likes before his move. Yeah, for sure. Leaving a like on the stream really does help me out. Do appreciate it. Tino says, quit doing your makeup and go live. Yeah, I had to get my makeup nice and right for the live stream here, but I think we're good to go now. Hunter says, another Hamlin race. Chris's dad must be happy. He was pumped up last week, that's for sure. Well, I thought Larson was going to scare him for a bit. He came in flying video game style, banging the wall. If you guys play NASCAR Heat, if you just ride the wall, usually you can go faster, but didn't happen to work in real life. But it was a very exciting race last week, and felt pretty good about having the majority of my lineups having Larson and Hamlin together. Let's see. FE's here. What's up, Rick? Travis says, we need you early, Chris. Come on with it. Good night. What's up, Travis? Nice to have you here, man. Should be a good stream today. Looking forward to the race. I'm actually kind of excited that Larson went to the rear because I was not a huge fan of Larson today. Like, I liked him just because of where he was starting. I was playing him. I had over 30% exposure to him, or right around 25-30. I am pretty much off Larson at this point. I liked Hamlin. I liked Truex more than I liked Larson. So I just pretty much threw all the Larson exposure right onto Hamlin and Truex, and I'm even more confident in him now because you have the best driver in NASCAR this year. Now he's in the back. You don't have to worry about him stealing laps led, especially early on. So I'd be very surprised if they're not in the optimal lineup tonight. What's up, dude? Always got to have my wrench man handy. Nice to have you here. Sarah says, I think Larson went to the back, but not sure. Sure did. I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions about that during the stream, so bear with it. Aaron says, took Hamlin all year to win last week. No way he goes back-to-back. I have Truex or Logano taking the checker flag tonight. I personally think Truex wins. If it's not Truex, I think it's Hamlin, but I think it's going to be between those two. But I'm pretty much on Truex winning this race. He's usually good at day-to-night races. He is amazing at Richmond. Like, he's the man here, averaging over 100 laps led per race. And I do want to mention that last time Hamlin and Truex started on the front row, which was earlier this season at Richmond, they were both in the optimal lineup, and I would not be surprised if that happens once again. So, Cut the check says Larson in the rear. Sarah says it as well. Custer in the rear as well. Is Custer in the rear? I don't really care anyway. I don't think I have any Custer today. Maybe 1%, but I'm fading Custer. Not because he went to the rear or anything, but you guys will have to let me know if any news drops throughout this stream because obviously I'm not checking Twitter at the moment. Cut the check says, question, can Larson get back to the front lead laps? I mean, he can, probably more so stage 3, but I don't see it happening. I mean, he's going to have some weird strategy work out. I just don't see Larson getting up front, passing Hamlin, Truex on green flag runs today. Casey says, yo, CP, checking in. What's up, Casey? What's your favorite contrarian dominator today besides Truex and Hamlin now that Larson is in the back? If Joey counts as contrarian, I have him as one of my favorite GPP plays today. I just feel now with Larson going to the rear, it's going to bump up ownership to those guys, and I feel like Joey Logano is one of those guys that's going to get bumped up. But before Larson go to the rear, it was Joey. I love Joey a lot today. He dominates short flat tracks. Maybe not like dominate in terms of leading laps, but he's been very, very good at them. And he has led laps in the past since COVID started. I mean, he's been amazing at short flat tracks since 2020. and good this year as well. So, love Truex. I'm sorry, not Truex. Joey Logano. I think Harvick and Keselowski are some pretty good dominator plays. I don't think they're the most likely to dominate, but Keselowski has been really good at short flat tracks. Won this race last year. Kevin Harvick showed some speed last week, and also the last time we had a short flat track in New Hampshire, he was one of the best cars in the field. You got to keep in mind, though, a lot of good cars got knocked out early on, so you hate to put too much into it, but don't hate those guys at their price points. What's up, Chris? He's got the CP logo on here. That's pretty cool. Andre says, yo, we live. Kevin says, contest link. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Kevin, because we don't have much time. We have to fill the DraftKings contest, and I know it's a Saturday with NFL starting, so I was debating on whether to make it 100 people or not, so we got to fill it. I'm hoping it does fill. I think we have 40 spots open. Okay, 39 spots. I'm actually going to go tweet out the link right now. So if you guys want to join the contest, we got 30-some spots open. Just go to ChrisPennell16 on Twitter, and I'll tweet it right now. Okay, the tweet is live, so make sure you guys go join, because if it does not fill, we won't have a contest, which that would suck. I think we'll be all right, though. You guys usually fill it pretty quick. What's up, Kyle? Matthew says, LaJoy and Dylan, MDB. You just tell me you like them? If so, yes, I like those guys. MDB should be pretty chalky today. Although there's a lot of good plays in that range, so I'm not sure exactly how chalky he'll be, but if you're playing cash games, MDB is a pretty good target today, starting in 28th. Penske typically runs pretty well at the short flat tracks. MDB has top 15 upside this week. Kind of like that a lot, $8,100. C. Austin says, don't be afraid to go 100% Larson. You're definitely not trying to get the Larson exposure up, are you? Dude says, is Andy awake yet? I don't think so. I think you're the only wrench man today, Dude. Looks like you're on your own. I think he was up to like 6 last night, so. Oh, let's see. Chat went down. Okay. Custer to the rear. That's what you guys told me. I didn't see Custer to the rear. I don't really care either way, though, because I have 0 Custer. I just don't think he's a good play today. Now, if he's in the rear, obviously, I really don't like him now. Cal says 13. Effie says CP is Superman, covering all the bases. It's been a busy weekend, man. Very busy weekend. Aaron says, I hope people still play Larson. He was a play in the pole, now even worse at the back. I totally agree, Aaron. I am off Larson. I don't see the reason to play Larson. If he happens to lead half this race starting from the back, I'd be very surprised. I'd be more than happy to take the L. I just don't see it happening. I don't think he's going to lead laps. I think he'll contend for a top 10 at the end of the day, maybe a top 5, but with 400 laps on tap, at that point, guys like Truex, Logano, or Hamlin are probably led over 100 laps, so I just don't see him being optimal, especially at that price point. No PD upside whatsoever, starting in the very back. I have none as of right now. I had around 25 to 30% Larson. I am now down to 0, or maybe 1, 2. I have to check my exposures, but it's nothing like I am actively rooting against Larson now. Josh says, Cash, Hamlin, Truex, got to have that start. MDB, Chastain, Buescher, and Stenhouse. I have the same lineup besides one guy, Josh. I will let you figure out which one that is, but overall I think it's solid, but I am one guy different. I feel like the one guy I have different is a little bit safer for restarting, for a little bit of a hint there. Sean says, thoughts on Suarez for a single entry GPP play? He was optimal the last time we were at Richmond. He wasn't starting quite as far back then. I think he was in 26th or 27th. I think he's fine here. The price point's fine, below $7,000. He's a pivot off of Stenhouse, who's going to be pretty chalky today. But I have a decent chunk of exposure to Suarez. More of a tournament play, but I do like it. Casey says, let's make this money, Chris. I agree, Casey. Let's do it. Cut the Check says, thoughts on Kurt. So last week, I was pretty low on Kurt. I even said it on stream, and he impressed me. And we have to be able to adapt to what we thought. I thought he was not going to be worth a play starting that far to the front. And if I was applying that same thought process to this week, I would say the same thing. But I'm actually kind of growing on Kurt a little bit. I'm trying to match the field. I think he comes around like 10 to 12% ownership, and I'm in a similar boat there. So I think he's fine for where he's starting. Obviously, Larson going to the back opens up the floor for other guys to dominate or get fast laps up front. So don't hate Kurt. I think he could be a guy that contends around the top 6 all day, hangs around there, picks up some fast laps along the way. I don't think he's going to get up front. I don't think he's going to pass Truex or Hamlin, but it is possible. Nick Papagiorgio says, what percentage of lineup should have both Truex and Hamlin together? I'd say close to half is probably good. I know people don't usually like to roster the driver starting first and second, but I just think it's such a good combo. I think they're both underpriced by a lot. I think they should both be the two most expensive drivers on the slate, and the fact that they're not kind of screams value to me. So I'd say close to half. That's what I assume mine are. I have to double check, but I have a ton of Hamlin and Truex combos. Edwin says, "What's up? What's up, Edwin?" Hunter says, "Fade JJ Yaley." I got some JJ Yaley. Big Boy says, "Hamlin, Truex, Chastain, Stenhouse, MDB, and Suarez for cash." I think similar to the other guy, I am only one driver off. So I feel like it's going to be a big 1v1 in cash because I think it's kind of obvious the first few guys. But I am one off, so I think it's fine. I don't really have a problem with it. I'm just not the exact same. Andre says, "More Joey talk." I love Joey a lot. He's one of my favorite dominators. I am building around Hamlin, Truex, and Joey today. Those are my highest owned dominators. And you can fit all three in a lineup. It doesn't really look that bad. I mean, you have to dip down to like a Corey LaJoy, but it's really not bad. Travis says, "My goodness, Larson to the back." Yeah. Anytime we get the pole setter and a big name going to the rear, definitely makes the slate pretty interesting. I was projecting him for over 30% ownership. I think it's going to dip into the 20s now. But I want to be underweight on Larson, like way underweight, if not full fade. Albert says, "Need some NASCAR wins. Got to pay off my newly acquired mortgage. Did you get a new house, Albert? If so, congratulations. Congrats. Hopefully we can get you that GPP takedown to pay off the house tonight." Yes says, "Who's your favorite not dominator?" If you just mean like a non-dom play. Oh, who do I have the most of? It's either Stenhouse or Chastain. I like both those guys a lot. Really like them as cheaper mid-range plays today. That speed that Chastain showed last week was awesome. Plus, he's been really good in this package all season long. Same with Stenhouse. Dad's here. Says I'm awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. You had a pretty good week last week for a while, and then a couple of your cars went south. But we got the Hamlin win, which is always nice. So hopefully we can see that again. I want either Truex or Hamlin winning. Chris Palmer says, "Cash. Hamlin, Truex, MDB, Chastain, Stenhouse, and Jones." I like that a lot. It seems like everybody is building the same lineup besides one driver, so it's going to be probably a pretty chalky night when it comes to single entry or cash games, but I really like that, Chris. Aaron says, "Custer, trash." I agree. I hate Custer. I really do. Chandler says, "Core 3, Kurt, Elliott, and Kess." That's going to be quite contrarian, although Keselowski probably won't be super low owned, especially at his price point at a short flat track, but Elliott and Kurt will definitely be lower owned, so if that's your core, I mean, if it hits, they're going to be looking pretty good. My girlfriend, I think she actually sent 3 same messages in a row, but she says, "Hi, my busy bee. What's up? I hope, tell Parker I said happy birthday. Sorry I couldn't be there. I would be, but pretty bad timing today. But glad you made it still. Glad you have internet." Dad says the audience is awesome. I agree. You guys are the best audience out there. Love my NASCAR community. FB says, "Thoughts on a Penske stack?" Yeah, I don't mind a Penske stack today. So we have Joe Logano, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski. We could include MDB in that. I think you could make that work, right? Because the only guy above 10K there would be Joe Logano. Yeah, if you can full on stack those guys, I don't mind that. They typically run very well at short flat tracks, and their price points aren't terrible. It's just Ryan Blaney really struggles at Richmond, although he had a 11th place finish earlier this year, which was pretty good compared to what he's done in the past year. Hunter says, 36, need I say more? Just kidding. Oh, love, brother. Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's like a Discord only thing. Hunter's been on a hot streak. Like second place in NASCAR today, and then second place in MLB, I think, earlier this week. Big Boy says, favorite play $6,900 and under for cash games? I would say Eric Jones. I think you're just trying to get me to answer that question if everyone has the same lineup. Oh, I'm assuming we already have Ricky Stenhouse penciled in. I would say Stenhouse would be my favorite play there, then Eric Jones. Sarah says, Chastain. I love Chastain. His starting spot makes me think he's not going to be super chalky, but if people are looking at last week's numbers, I mean, yeah, it might boost his ownership up a little bit. But starting in 17th, I like Chastain a lot. Definitely think we have top 10 upside. He shows the speed for it last week. Chris says, Larson to the rear makes me have to kick the 5 and in with Truex. I totally agree. I would definitely do that. I love Truex a lot. I think Truex is going to lead a lot of laps tonight. Not be surprised if he approaches like around 200 laps led. Travis says, Chris, do you play Super Draft? I do not. I have no idea about Super Draft. I know there's a thing called multipliers, but I can't really reference them. I know sometimes they have some drivers that are like Their multipliers are pretty high. But I guess it just depends, really. You'd have to let me know, like a question. I know something about the multipliers, but nothing really too extravagant. Let's see. Oops. I'm actually going to check and see how the contest, if we're getting close to filled or not. Alright, we have 19 spots left in the contest. If you're just now getting here, go to my Twitter. I tweeted out the link. Make sure we join. We have about 20 spots left, so we got about an hour and a half until lock. So I think we'll be good, but just make sure we fill it up so we can run it. Jason says, Intertops had Hamlin minus 160 versus Larson plus 120. Yeah, I'd take Hamlin all day over there. Scott says, should I remove Larson from my lineup? I would, Scott. If you're only playing one lineup, definitely I would remove Larson. If you're putting 150, I don't even think I have one Larson lineup now. Maybe one or two, but I do not like Larson at this point. I think your money is better well spent just from a guy like either Truex, Hamlin, or Logano. Donnie says, which do you prefer, Stenhouse, Chastain, or Jones in GPP? If this was cash, I would say Stenhouse, but since it's GPP, I would go with Chastain there. John says, hey Chris, sorry I'm late. Who's the winner tonight? No problem, John. And I would say the winner tonight is going to be Martin Truex Jr. I think he gets the win tonight. This team has been selling out for the short flat tracks. He's good at day-to-night races. I have a hard time seeing Truex not dominate tonight. I mean, obviously bad luck in strike like we saw last week, but he should have a fast car. And as long as he doesn't make any mistakes like speeding penalties or loose wheels again, I'd be kind of surprised if he doesn't win tonight. Kyle says my bro won 2,000 in Xfinity today. Really? Did he take down the contest? Like the big one? Sounds like that's what you have to clear to get 2,000 in Xfinity. So if so, awesome, man. Jeremy says, what's up, C-Pen? Do you still have spots open? Sure do, Jeremy. I'm sure you already... I'm behind in the chat, so I'm sure you already heard me. I'm going to check the contest still. All right. 3 more people just joined. We got 15 spots left. Or 16, I guess. JB says, Logano, Truex, Keselowski, Chastain, Stenhouse, LaJoy, GPP. I think that's a very good tournament lineup. Chastain's good for tournaments, so is LaJoy, Keselowski, Logano. So, yeah, I like that. It's a good mix of chalky and tournament guys. Edwin says, Chastain or Eric Almirola. I like Eric Almirola a lot in tournaments today, but I'm going to side with Chastain. There's a little bit more PD upside. Don says, boo, lock button Larson. I know, that's your thing, man. Every single week, we got to lock button Larson. Did you lock Larson last week? I thought you did. But, was that last week? I can't remember, but either way, yeah, I think we're going to have to be off Larson this time. I know you still might play Larson because you love him, but I'm having a hard time doing it. But his ownership got lower if you want some leverage, but I think it got lowered for a good reason. Doug says, Roland Hamlin, Truex, Harvick lines. So my projections, the top projected lineup in my optimizer, according to my projections, actually have that trio there. Harvick, Hamlin, and Truex, which I'm not going to run that in cash games. I usually do run my highest projected lineup in cash games, but just felt a little bit risky playing Harvick. So I went 2 DOMs with all the questions you guys are asking me. I think you can probably figure out my main lineup tonight. But my projections do agree with you. I think it's a decent trio. Josh says, favorite mid 8K play? Well, I guess MDB is not really a mid 8K play, if he counts him. There's only 4 guys in the 8K range, so I would say MDB. If I had to rank them, MDB, Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney there. Close between Bowman and Dillon. I just don't think Alex Bowman's going to dominate or anything, so I'll take the extra PD with Austin Dillon there. Jay says, hey, what's up, Jay? Cut the Check says, but what would it take for Kurt to be optimal? He's going to have to hang around the top 5 the majority of the day and pick up fast laps, which is possible. It's possible. He's going to have to you pretty much have to hope that the rest of the guys he's priced around fail, like Tyler Reddick, Arc Almirola. Like, I'm not really scared of anybody in this price range besides Ross Chastain, but he's right below MDB as well. So you're going to have to hope MDB fails pretty much, and for Kurt Busch to maybe get up front, lead some laps like he did last week, and get some fast laps along the way. It's possible. I don't think it's the most likely thing, but it is possible, so I'm not fading Kurt Busch. But would I play him in cash games or single entry or even 3 max? Probably not. Well, definitely not for cash games. And 3 max, maybe, but it's still risky. Zach to the Future says, what 6K and below value plays? Well, there's a couple guys I like down there. Ryan Newman's right at 6K. I like him starting in 24th. I like Corey LaJoy. I like JJ Yaley. That's kind of it below 6K or at 6K. Not really a big group there. Right above them, though, there's a bunch of good 6K plays. Like, I think everybody besides Michael McDowell is a pretty good play here. So, kind of take your picks. But Stenhouse would be my favorite. Deshaun says, do I like Bubba? I like Bubba today. I actually have a good amount of exposure to him. More than I usually have. So, I do like Bubba. Nick Papagiorgio, I love that name. It's from the movie, right? Lampoon's Vacation, I think. Unless you guys have the same last name, but is everyone Blaney up in salary considered a dominator? I'm pretty sure. Let me pull my sheet back up. I'm just looking at the chat right now. So Blaney above, yes. I'm not really gonna call Christopher Bell a dominator, but at that price point, I think you kind of have to put him in the mix there. So I would say yes. Albert says, cash games, Hamlin, duh, Truex, duh. Totally agree there. MDB, Chastain, Stenhouse, and LaJoie. I'll tell you right now, I have the same exact thing besides one driver. Like, you guys have like all the 5 same I have, and then we're just one off at the end. So, I think it might be just a big 1v1 tonight, which kind of scares me. Hoping I had the right 1v1. We the People says, best punt. Well, what price tag are we considering a punt? Like the 5K range? If so, I'd say JJ Yeley. If Corey LaJoie doesn't count. Like, I'm talking like scrub drivers. Sarah says, what do I think about Bell? I think they priced him too expensive this week. Like, yeah, I know Bell is really good at short flat tracks, and I like Bell this week. I think he's going to have a solid race. It's just his projections compared to the other guys, it just doesn't look that great point per otherwise. I have some Bell. I'm not fading him. I might be slightly underweight here, close to even to the field. It's just mainly a price thing for me. I'd rather play William Byron. I'd rather play Keselowski and Harvick, personally. Aaron says, Kurt has been running great, and so has Chastain, but I don't see Kurt better than maybe 6. And I agree to it. I mean, he can top 5 is the thing. And what he did last week it was pretty good. I'm not sure it's going to happen again. Darlington has been a pretty good track for him. It's just, if Kurt Busch hangs around the top 5 and gets some fast laps, I think he's worth like around 10% exposure in a 150 max contest. But outside of that, I wouldn't play Kurt. Only in a 150 max, really. Or maybe 1 or 2 in a 20 max. Justin says, Yo, CP, can I call you a fellow Floridian yet? Very close, Justin. I move on Tuesday. And I'm taking the auto train so I can get my truck down there. So I'll be there on Wednesday. So next stream, you guys I'll be live from Florida. So definitely looking forward to that. But as of right now, I'm still in Ohio. Brandon says, no love for Eric Jones starting 31st. Well, I definitely have a lot of love for Eric Jones today. He's one of my highest owned drivers. So maybe the chat might not have some love for Eric Jones, but I sure do. I have a lot of him. He's actually been very solid at the short flat tracks this year, too. But no one's asked about him yet, which kind of surprises me. Probably because he kind of burned us last week, which I get. Right after that, Keith says, Eric Jones plays differential. Yeah, I like Eric Jones quite a bit today. Terry says, is Elliott good at this track? I mean, Elliott's pretty much good everywhere, but he's not quite as good as the other guys like Truex, Hamlin, Kyle Busch. Those guys have been kind of running the show here. I mean, I think Elliott's worth playing, but I'm kind of planning on being half the ownership to the field with Elliott, just because of the price point. I don't really see him getting up front over the guys that we just talked about. Let's see. Brett says, who are your top 2 place differential plays for GPP? Well, the thing is, place differential guys aren't usually going to be, like, those are usually the cash game guys, and the guys starting close to the front with less PD are usually the tournament guys. But if we had to go for lower ownership for guys that start a little bit further back, I love Chastain a lot. Daniel Suarez starting in 22nd. I think that's a decent spot there. Austin Dillon just getting off the MDB chalk, really. I also saw that someone else joined our Discord chat, so looks like there's a bunch of numbers there, so I can't read it. But if you did just join, welcome. Glad to have you. Let's see, Phil says, hey, what's up, Chris? What's up, Phil? Custer, Eric Jones tonight? I will take Eric Jones. I do not like Custer at all. Big Boy says, Chastain, Hamlin, LaJoie, Logano, Newman, Truex for cash. I don't hate the triple Dom build. I personally only have 2 in my cash game build, but I don't mind that. I like all the drivers you mentioned, so I guess I'll give it the go-ahead. But, I mean, the thing... Wait, did you have Truex in there and Hamlin? Okay, you did. Just making sure. I wouldn't miss that. Justin says, at a party, but just hopped in to say welcome to Florida if you made it here, bro. Any big changes happened since your mascot video the other day? Well, I'm not. Something got switched up in your typing there, so I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Or maybe you mean NASCAR video. Not really much has changed, Justin. And the only thing that really did change was Larson to the rear, so I have no Larson now. But glad you're stopping by when you're at a party. Hope you have fun, and I will be in Florida very, very soon. Troy says Larson or Logano. I think that's pretty easily Joey now, especially with Larson in the back. I love Joey today a lot. Bourne says Chastain, MDB, Hamlin, Stenhouse, Truex, and choose one: Briscoe, Bubba, Jones. Give me Eric Jones there. Aaron says if this race goes the way it's supposed to, then first place will be a big split ton of ways. I agree. If the Truex and Hamlin combo is optimal today, and then there's just not a bunch of crazy stuff that happens, we're going to see a big split. Like, Truex and Hamlin are going to push for 50% ownership in like the tournaments today. And if you're playing single entries, they'll be probably like 70-80, to be honest. So it's going to take some courage to fade them. I obviously didn't hit the lock button, but I am very heavy on both. Bourne says, oh, I think I just answered that. Chris says, thanks for helping me actually turn a profit for the first time on DraftKings during the NASCAR season. That's awesome, Chris. Glad to hear that. Looking forward to your NFL content as well. Yeah, NFL, if you guys haven't checked that out, I posted like 4 NFL videos already, and I have one scheduled to go at 10 tonight, which is my core plays video. It's only like 8 or 9 minutes long. I try to keep it short and sweet. So if you want to check it out, my 3 favorite cash game plays and my 3 favorite tournament plays over there. And I also have the NFL content over on Patreon if you guys want to check it out. And I do want to mention for Prize Picks, got to do a little bit of a plug here, but they're running a promo this weekend where all you have to do is get Patrick Mahomes over 0.5 passing yards, so it's literally free money unless he breaks his ankle in the first play. So don't see that happening, but if you want free money, use code CPEN, free money bonus with $100, instant deposit match, then go bet Patrick Mahomes over 0.5 passing yards. You could throw some other stuff in there as well, but it's pretty much free money, so I would take advantage of that. And it ends right at kickoff, 4:25 tomorrow. John says, would you rather have Brad K or Bowman for your final spot? I would go with Keselowski there. I think there's more dominator upside. Phil says, thanks for doing your contest all year. Let's fill this thing up. Playoff NASCAR. I agree, Phil. I agree. Hopefully it's filled up. Is it filled? Let's check. All right, we have 6 spots left in the contest. If you're just now getting here, go to ChrisPennell16 on Twitter. Follow me if you haven't already, and join the contest. Link is in my most recent tweet. Chris says, so Jones is the guy in cash that you have different. I cannot confirm nor deny, Chris. Cannot confirm nor deny that. Kyle says, thoughts on Matty D? Matty D is a good place differential play. Pretty much a Penske car, starting in 28th, has top 15 upside, short flat tracks. I'll take him all day. One of my higher owned drivers, he's not a guy I'm going crazy on because I think there's really good pivots right beside him. So I don't want to go too crazy on the chalk driver here, but if I'm playing cash games, I'm getting Matty D in. But there's some really good pivots there. Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, Almirola, Austin Dillon. So I'm not going too heavy on MDB. And Shay just said in my Discord, your projections love Harvick and my Optimal. And yeah, it really does like Harvick in there. It's really leaning towards 3 dom builds with like Truex and Hamlin plus like a 9K guy with Keselowski and Harvick. I'm not going there in my main, but just throwing it out there, that's what it likes. And I tend to trust it. I'm not crazy on Harvick today, but I do have a decent chunk, more than I usually do. It could go south very quick, though. Let's see. Bourne says, Chastain, MDB, Hamlin, Stenhouse, Truex, and Bubba. Looks pretty good overall. Can't really complain too much there. Kyle says, or Dylan. Well, oh yeah, I kind of already talked about that when I was talking about Matty D. Spread says, Harvick will steal our money. Probably. Probably will. I'm not going crazy on Harvick. Even though he's popping up in my optimal, I think it's mainly just him being a cheaper dominator, and there's like 400 laps, so I get it. But in my main lineup, I only have 2 doms. Man, I'm really behind in the chat. Jeez. Sean says, single 100 GP, Hamlin, Bell, Logano, Stenhouse, Yaley, and Suarez. For a tournament, oh man, single entry, I'm not sure if I'd go with Yaley. I think he's more of a 150 max guy, or maybe even 20 max. I don't really want to go Yaley there. Besides Yaley, I like it, but maybe drop down Bell a little bit to get above Yaley. I'd feel a little bit better about that. It could work, though, but doesn't feel great. John says, do you agree with fading Jones and MDB and GPP? I'd more so agree with fading, like being not fading, but being underweight on MDB, just because I like the pivots there. But I am overweight on Jones. So I'm like, yes, I'm underweight on NDB, but overweight on Jones. So it's kind of, it's just the way my lineups were being built. That's where I landed. Plus, with Jones wrecking last week, I'm hoping people are kind of mad at him and his ownership's lower than I expect. I'm not sure if that'll be the case, but at short flat tracks, Jones has been solid this season. Also a Jones homer, so I'm not sure that helps either. Andre says Byron GPPs. I think this is the first Byron question we got. I do like Byron in tournaments, yes. Not a ton. I have below 20% ownership, but I am pretty close to that. Hendrick Carr's got to get it going after last week's poor showing besides Larson. Glenn says Omarilla or Chastain if you have $7,900 left. I like both a lot, but I'm going to go with Chastain. I think I just got a donut from my man Spread, as long as we have the same profile picture as normal. Appreciate that, Spread. Thank you very much. You're the best in the game. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Spread. You never have to do that, but it's always much appreciated. One of my my best Discord members over there, so I do appreciate you, Spread. I think you had a good Thursday Night Football showdown slate, so thank you very much, sir. Robert says, what do you think about Haley? No thanks on Haley, starting too far up front for me. Zach to the Future says lowest cash play. I'd probably say LaJoy there for the lowest. Not sure I want to go with LaJoy in cash, but I think he's viable. Spread says, here, boss. What's up, Spread? Patrick says, enjoy the race tonight. You too, Patrick. Hopefully we can enjoy the race, get a good sleep, watch some football tomorrow. And you watch my Browns take down the Chiefs. Sorry to all Chiefs fans out there, but I really want that to happen. I would love nothing more than the Browns to beat the Chiefs tomorrow in Arrowhead. Bourne says, any left for Bowman? A little bit. I think he's in a similar boat to a guy like Ryan Blaney. He did win this race earlier this season, you got to keep in mind. Not really in dominant fashion, but I think he's a top 5 contender. I have around 15-20% exposure to Bowman tonight. Spread says, I had 45% Brad Keselowski by accident. Oh my. That's about double the field on Brad K there. Like, I like Brad K in tournaments, but not that much. Gotta fix that up, Spread. What's up, Luke? How you doing, man? Ryan says, is Priest a decent play? I don't really like Priest today, just mainly a starting position thing. I think there's better plays where he's at. Let me pull my sheet here. Just sort of looking at the chat right now. So Ryan Priest is right beside guys like, well, Anthony Alfredo's not good, but I like Corey LaJoy more. I like J.J. Yealy more than I like Priest. I like Ryan Newman more. And besides Michael McDowell, I like pretty much everybody else. So I'm not a big fan of Priest. I would play Alfredo over him, which says a lot because Alfredo is terrible, but not really a big fan of Priest. I don't think I have any Priest tonight. 150 laps, I don't think I have any. Dad says Hamlin. I'm all about Hamlin tonight. I have a lot of Hamlin. A lot. I am very much so rooting for him. Chris says no lift for Elliott. Also, hope you don't mind me using a CPE picture. Oh, no. The more people that use the picture, the better. It's good advertising. So, yeah. No one has to ask me. If someone has it, use it. Don't mind that at all. But no lift for Elliott. It's mainly a price thing on Elliott. Like, I have some, but I'm like half the ownership on the field. At least my projections. So, not big on Elliott tonight. I'm just really heavy on Truex Hamlin. Something Went Wrong says, morning, Sunday in my country currently. Oh, yeah, you're from the Philippines, right? All the way across the world, but good morning to you. It's evening over here, though. Heck yeah, Kyle Busch. It's a good track for him, although he's been a lot worse in this package compared to the 550. That's for sure. Avery Drake says, you like Chastain in cash or just GPP? I like him in both. He's actually in my cash lineup right now, just because of how things fit. I wouldn't say he's the most ideal cash play for where he's starting, typically, for how I do my builds, but just today, my projections like him a lot, so I'm going to slide him in there at $7,200. It was a bit too cheap. I think Chastain should be right around where Reddick is, to be honest. Alan says, Suarez or Stenhouse GPP last driver. I'll go with Stenhouse there. By the way, enjoyed your NFL video. Appreciate that, Alan. Saw your comment there. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much. You guys can all feel free to check them out whenever. I have my core plays video going up at 10 p.m. tonight, which is usually my favorite video to make. Oh, where are we at? Max says, is Chastain okay for cash? Yes. I have Chastain in my cash lineup right now. It doesn't feel the greatest starting 17th, but I just feel like he's too cheap. Something Wrong says, good race earlier in Xfinity. I was doing baseball stuff and NFL stuff during Xfinity, so I didn't see it. Although guys in my Discord chat did very well in Xfinity, so hats off to them. Let's see. Day says, yo, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Drew says, Kessler, Byron. I would say it depends, because if you have the two guys sitting up front, Byron offers you more PD upside, so it feels a little bit safer. It was also a little more expensive. So if you have the two guys up front, I would say Byron. If not, I think Keselowski probably the better way to go. Taiwan says, thoughts on Chris Buescher? Not huge on Buescher. The thing is, he's priced right beside Chastain, which I have a lot more interest in. Plus, Buescher's been a lot worse in this package compared to the 550 this season. So, I think he's worth like 10 to 15% exposure, but I don't think I'd go any farther than that. I do prefer Chastain a lot more. Something Wrong says McDowell and Byron is a must-win. Yeah, well, McDowell, good luck to him, but that's not going to happen. Byron, though, Byron's a guy that can win this race. Sean says, good luck to everyone. I have too much on Marola. Yeah, I have a lot of on Marola, too. I think he's a very good tournament play, though. Short flat tracks have been his bread and butter. But good luck to you as well, Sean. I know you sent in a pretty good Xfinity screenshot earlier, so at least you have some play money to play around with. Spread says low on Eric because he didn't finish the sentence. Jack says Eric, do like him quite a bit in tournaments. Dude says be sure to hit that like button. Let's get it to 100. Not sure we'll get to 100 on a Saturday night race with NFL starting, but if we do, I do appreciate it. I'm not expecting it though. Chris says 10 spots left in the contest. I'm pretty far behind, so I bet it filled by now, right? Oh, my phone doesn't have internet. Hold on. Okay, we filled it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Now I don't have to worry about that for the race. Jenny says Bowman. In tournaments, yes. Cash games, no, but Bowman is a fine tournament play. He won this race earlier this season. Not expecting that to happen again, but he's a top 5 contender, and the price point's fine. I do prefer him over Blaney, but not over guys like Kevin Harvick or Keselowski. Joel says, what's up, Chris? Best in the industry. Appreciate that, Joel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You guys sent me a lot of screenshots on Twitter. I kept pressing the refresh button on my Twitter, and it just kept getting notifications of you guys sending in tweets of winning, so I'm glad you all had a pretty good week last week. Warms my heart. Luke says, the Eric Jones versus Stenhouse debate is insane. I say play both. I mean, those are two of my favorite cheap plays. I get it, though. That's pretty tough to pick. If I had to pick between the two, though, I'm going to go with Stenhouse over Jones because I trust him more. Kubica's a little bit better, too. But I'd say play both. Cut the Check says, if Truex or Hamlin dominates the race, wouldn't it make the other not optimal? Well, they can both dominate. Like, there's 400 laps, so Truex could lead 150. Hamlin leads 150. There's still 100 laps left for a guy like Joey, too. So they can very much so both be optimal. The most recent race here, both Hamlin and Truex were optimal, both starting first and second. So it's definitely possible. Luke says 400 laps tonight. Yeah, exactly. There's enough laps to make it work. Like if this is a road course, no thank you on the whole 1-2 guys up front. But with 400 laps, it's possible. Casey says Kyle Busch thoughts. Not very good in this package this year. I know Richmond's a very good track for him. I just hate the price tag. Like, why play Busch when I can play Joey? Why do that when I can play Hamlin or Truex? That's the main thing here. Like, I'd rather play Byron over Kyle Busch, and he's about $2,000 cheaper. That's not to say I'm full fading Kyle Busch, but I am definitely lower in the field from what I'm projecting. Todd says, what's up, Chris? What's up, Todd? Getting a late start tonight. Anyone else besides Larson starting in the rear? I saw some people telling me Custer, but I don't really care because I'm not playing Custer tonight, so I guess Larson and Custer, although I have not confirmed Custer yet. Someone can confirm that. That'd be nice. JB says, Hamlin, Truex, Bowman, Chastain, Stenhouse, Jones, and Cash. I'm not a big fan of Bowman and Cash today. I'd rather play on DB, to be honest. Robert, your message got retracted, so if you didn't do that, make sure you send your question in again. Albert says, Logano, Hamlin, Truex, Yaley, Jones, Stenhouse for tournaments. Since the tournament, I will give the okay to Yaley. If it was cash games, no, but I think that's a fine tournament lineup. I love those three dominators right there. Logano, Hamlin, Truex. If one of those guys or all three of those guys smash tonight, I will be one happy camper. Trevor says, good luck, everybody. Good luck to you as well, Trevor. Nice cat you have there in your profile picture. Something Wrong says, go Kyle Busch. No, you love Kyle Busch. Chris says 157 in the live chat, less than 20 likes. Let's hit that like button, folks. Hopefully it's not only 20 likes. It was nearly 20 when I got in here. Maybe it didn't update yet. I will check. Oh, my phone's not working. We're at 61, so maybe we'll get to 100. Maybe. We got about 20 minutes left. Ziggy says the 911 finished first and second today in Xfinity. What a coincidence. You're right. Wow. You're right. I almost forgot it was today when I woke up. JB says, contest is full now, Chris. Good luck all. Yeah, good luck to everybody. Glad you guys filled the contest. Makes my life a little bit easier. B-Sad says, or B-Sad D something, says, I was so close last week. Wasn't in the top 200 the whole race. I was in the top 200 pretty much the whole race. Yeah, I know there's some people that were doing really well and then ended up kind of fading late. I think I was kind of in that boat. I was doing very well, and then my laps kind of kept fading a little bit. Thought I was going to have a takedown chance. Ended up not really working out well. Just for the takedown. I mean, it wasn't a bad week, but... Jordan says, Jones or Matty D. What's a good Chris? What's up, Jordan? Between those two, price isn't an issue. Matty D, for sure. Roger says, like Busher for cash. Not really. Not a big fan of Busher in cash today. Rhythm says, anyone below 6K worth it in GPP? Oh, yeah. There's a couple guys down there. Corley Joy. I mean, Anthony Alfredo sucks, but he's playable. He's starting in 30th. JJ Yaley's fine. But outside of those three, it's probably about it. Oh, geez, I must have went down in the chat. Thought I missed something. Yeah, I missed a couple things. Luke says, Di Benedetto, I feel like always sucks at night. Hope not tonight. I'm not like planning on being overweight on MDV. I'm kind of trying to be even on the field or maybe slightly underweight. But my main lineup, I have him just because... it's my main lineup. I'm not really trying to get too crazy in there, but in tournaments, I would not mind being a little bit underweight on MDB, just because I like some of the pivots right beside him. Philip says, Bubba Wallace or Corley Joy. I would go with Bubba there. Aaron says, over/under on Kyle Busch hitting a cone. Probably high. Probably high. We'll get a good interview if that happens, though. Deshaun says, Logano or Keselowski. I'll go with Joey there. Rhythm says, my man Penn. My man Rhythm. What's up, man? Glad to have you here. MC says, okay, what have I missed? Been watching the tennis. I know Larson is to the rear. Anybody else? I have been told Cole Custer in the rear. I cannot confirm that, but that's what I've been told. Don't really care about Custer. And yes, Larson's in the rear. That's about all you missed. Hunter says, where's Hawk? Oh yeah, Hawk says he was going to send me a dono if he remembered to hop in the live stream. So I'll have to... probably won't make it. Maybe he's sleeping. Dude says, general info, green flag, 745, stages, 80, 155, 165, competition caution on the lap, 30, 9 sets of fuel, or not 9 sets of fuel, 9 sets of tires. You guys get the idea. And Custer to the rear, yes, so that's been confirmed now. Rhythm says, whoops, Deshaun says, Stenhouse or Jones, I will go with Stenhouse there. Rhythm says, or run mid-range. Should I pay all the way up, or run mid-range in GPPs? In tournaments, I don't mind getting top-heavy with 3 dominators. So, I think in cash games, going to be more some mid-range guys, but I don't hate that way in tournaments. She says, I'm super sad I forgot to join the contest. Oh, you know, my girlfriend forgot to join the contest. How sad. I sent you an invite earlier, but it's alright. I'll have to get in some cash games, though, to make up for it. I think you got shoutouts 2 weeks in a row now, though. Cut the Check says, if only one of Hamlin or Truex dominates this race and Kyle Busch gets a top 5 plus about 30 fast laps, then wouldn't Hamlin, Busch, or Truex Busch be optimal? I mean, it could be. It just depends on how the cards fall. Like, I mean, the other guy could still get could still get fast laps, but Busch's price point is super high. But if we look at the most recent optimal lineup here, like, first and second is not a hard thing to accomplish to be optimal here. Let's look at the past Richmond slate out, or no, that's the... I'm looking for the previous optimal lineup. Well, actually, I guess this works too. So last race at Richmond, we had Truex starting in first, Hamlin in second. They were both above 11K, and they're a lot cheaper now. They're about $1,000 cheaper a piece. Truex 95, Hamlin 133, 41% and 35% owned. I think probably this race we're going to see Truex close to 50, Hamlin close to 50, and they're cheaper now, and I think they're probably going to score close to the same amount of points. Like, I'd be very surprised if Truex and Hamlin don't dominate today. And if we look at the most previous optimal lineup, if it loads, we had Truex in first, Hamlin in second, Bowman in 24th, Suarez in 27th, Chastain in 18th, and Corey LaJoie 36th. Actually, Chastain's in a very similar spot, not quite as cheap as he was, $6,000, but I mean, yeah, it's possible they're both not going to be in the optimal lineup, but they can both very easily lead laps today. Kiko says, I entered the Daily Dollar tournament. They still have some contests open, probably some smaller ones now, with a 25-cent ticket. Truex, Larson, Bell, Amarola, Newman, and LaJoie. I personally don't like Larson. If you're just now getting here, he is to the rear now, so he's going to start the race with like negative 30 points. So keep that in mind. I don't think he's going to get up front and dominate. I'd rather move Larson to a guy like Hamlin or Joey Logano, personally. Joel says, Chris, I owe a steak dinner, my favorite restaurant in Naples. You've been awesome. Oh yeah, you're the guy around that area. Awesome. I will take up a steak dinner all day. I love steak. I will hit you up on that. Is Naples north or south of Fort Myers? I forget. Naples is beautiful, though. Where we go? Kiko says, guys, I picked Truex. Oh, all right, I already answered that, so I guess we're good. Ron says, will you still use Larson if he's in the back? I am not using Larson now, Ron. I am pretty much all the way off of Larson at this point. I just don't see the upside. I don't see it. Boldy in the Oaf says, Brad wins tonight. Guaranteed, huh? I think it's going to be Truex. I would not be surprised, like too surprised if it's Brad, but he's more of like a secondary pick to win for me. I think like the first tier of guys, it's Truex, Hamlin. Originally would have been Kyle Larson, but I think he's kind of out of the equation now. Joey Logano is right up there with them. And then guys like Keselowski, Harvick, Busch, Elliott are kind of in that second tier for me. Philip says you skipped about 20 questions after you checked your phone. I guess that's why we shouldn't check our phone on a live stream, huh? MC says Hamlin, Truex, Dillon, MDB, Yaley, Chastain, decent for tournaments. Yeah, it's fine for tournaments. I'm not big on playing Yaley if I'm just building one lineup, but it's going to be hard for him to suck starting in 37th. Plus, he has multiple top 30 finishes in this package this year. Roger says, like Buescher for cash? Not really. Not huge on Buescher for cash. Albert says, how deep would your player pool be for a 20 max? I'm trying to think what my 150 max player pool is. I want to say like 26, 27 drivers. I don't think I have any of the dirt cheap guys besides Yaley. For a 20 max, probably like around 20-ish. That makes sense. You can make it even tighter too, like in the teens, like 15 to 20. But I'd probably say I'm usually one that likes to spread out a little bit more. Although this race, I'm actually pretty keyed in on some guys. Like usually I have around 30 some drivers. So I'd say for a 20 max, you can probably get that down to like 15, 20 drivers. If you're going really tight on your core. Philip says, keep the great work. Thank you, Philip. Spread says that Iowa win today. That's a big deal for Hawk. That is true. That is true. If Iowa doesn't do good, Hawk, I'm sure is not going to be in a very good mood. Easy says, CP Mafia, let's go. Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we have a good race tonight. Chef Nikia says, got into the contest. I went first. Hey, I'm right there with you. We'll be battling out for first. Wish you the best of luck, though. Joel says, oh, I already read that. 15 miles south. Oh, thought it was pretty close. B-Sab says, I watched the full race last week. Man, Kyle Larson is the most talented driver I've ever seen. It was like he was driving with both tires and no traction control, yet controlling the car, going hard in turns. Yeah, I mean, Larson's so talented. Every single week he's winning like 4 races because he goes to dirt tracks, and Larson's definitely the most talented driver out there. That is for sure. I mean, he was good in the 42 car, but now that he's in the 5 car, you can just... It's almost not fair, really. But yeah, Larson's super talented. Kiko says, thanks for the tip, Chris. Change Larson to Hamlin. I think it's a very good call. Hopefully I didn't screw you, but personally I think that's the smartest way to go. But I wish you the best of luck in that tournament. Kevin says Newman. You asking me about Newman? If so, I like Newman. Starting in 24th. I think he's a solid PD play at that pretty low price point of $6,000. Oh, let's see. Something went wrong says, wow, is Larson really going to the back? Yes, he is. Larson is to the rear. Jack Koff says, who delivers content quicker, Chris or the dude from Micro Machines? I don't know who Micro Machines is, but I do put some content out pretty quick, I think. I just been pumping stuff out. Try my best out there. Tyler says, can you go Truex, Logano, Hamlin? You can. In cash games, I'm probably not doing that, but there are some 3-max builds. I don't hate the idea. Albert says, cool, thank you, sir. Got to get the mortgage paid off. No pressure. Yeah, no pressure at all. Just trying to pay for your house. Sorry if you guys can hear that. I think there's a leaf blower outside. Jeff says, Harvick, Elliott, or Byron for cash? Ooh, man. Well, if price doesn't matter, I guess I'd go with Elliott. Seems like a FanDuel question. Yeah, for sure something wrong. Larson's just insanely talented. Kiko says, thanks, Chris. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to you as well. Best of luck. Jack Koss says, 80s babies will get that. Oh, well, I'm definitely not close to that. I'm pretty much a 2000s baby. I just made the 1990s cut, but I grew up in the 2000s. Alan says, no Bubba in GPP. I have a lot of Bubba. Actually. He's actually one of my highest owned cheap drivers today. So, definitely not against Bubba. I'm going to see if I missed any questions. If not, I think I caught up to the chat, so we could probably get out of here. Unless anyone has some dire questions, please let me know. But I think we're pretty much caught up. Before we leave, though, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. If you want to step over on Patreon, feel free to do that. Got a lot of extra content over there. Got 3 sports going on. NFL tomorrow. Got the awesome Discord community, so if you want to check it out, feel free to. Kiko says, before I go, will you make a strategy video about the KFC Sunday football picks? What is the KFC Sunday football picks? Is that a tournament? I'm not totally sure. You have to let me know. If you're just wondering on some of my favorite plays, though, I've done like about 4 or 5 videos this week, which should be able to help you out. Good luck, Chris. Good luck, Rhythm. You're welcome. You're welcome. Good luck to you, Sarah. Joel says thumbs up. Totally agree. Thumbs up. MC says, not an NASCAR question, but playing my first 150 max in the NFL tomorrow. How did you manage injuries when you need to change them in every lineup? Well, do you mean like editing your lineup? I know it kind of sucks. I usually try to build my last build close to lock, but you can just overwrite your CSV if that's what you mean. But injuries do kind of suck. I mean, if you want to just make it easier on yourself, you could go lower on the guys that have injuries. Dude says, thank you, Chris. Good luck, everyone. Yeah, good luck to you as well, dude. Do appreciate you being my wrench man. Jack says, guys, fade Mostert and jam Sermon and GPPs tomorrow. Hey, I'm a Sermon owner in my season long, so I'd be more than happy to have Sermon go off tomorrow. I'm not playing him, but just for future perspective. Kiko says, Captain Showdown. Oh, man. I will be doing a Monday Night Football Showdown slate video, but I will not be doing anything for Sunday night. I'm going to take that off. So I'm sorry about that, but if you want to stick around for Monday Night Football, I will have a video for that out. KFC free tourney. Good luck, all. Good luck to you, Zwint. I'm going to give y'all a game. Hope you do, Dave. Or Dace. You're welcome, MC. Alright, guys, I'm probably going to get out of here. I do enjoy the streams with you all. You make it fun for me, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for stopping by, and if you want to check out the NFL content, it's there for you. Core Plays video coming out at 10 p.m. tonight. But I hope you all enjoy the race, and I'll see you next time.